Good morning, it's Barbara. It is a sunny day. I am going outside. Good morning, it's Barbara. Sitting out in the sun. I have my flowers out here. I had to move them out because they weren't bothering me when I first put them in the house, but as the flowers age and a few of them start to, wilt and decay, they start to give off a scent that doesn't sit well with me. So they have come outside. I put them out here so you can see them from the kitchen window. So I'm still enjoying them. If I get very ambitious, oh my gosh, not a cloud in the sky. If I get very ambitious and come up with a whole bunch of vases, I might take it apart and try to get some vases, and I'll sniff each flower to make sure it's not too strong. Find the ones that are being full of aroma. But meanwhile, I'm sitting in the sun. We got laundry in the washer. We're going to put it on the line. Feels a lot like fall out here, though. There are leaves all over the deck. It's nice to be outside. I haven't been outside for the last few days. I don't know if you can hear the music. My neighbors are obviously enjoying the outdoors too, but they like theirs to have a soundtrack. But if their lawn mowing doesn't bother you, I don't think their music will. So yesterday, I figured out my plan, and we'll see how it works, is that while I'm uploading my video, I will do my yoga. And that's what I did yesterday. So I did my chair yoga yesterday. The first the first lesson, it was 5 minutes, and it was very easy. Mostly stretches and things like that. We're having some, you can't see it, too many things blocking the view of the yard, but Pearl's chasing the frisbee. But it felt good, and I did it, and I was looking ahead and saw, day 2 is also 5 minutes, and I thought, oh, well, I could do day 2 too, and then I said, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna do 1 day at a time and just see how it goes. And so I'm planning to do my chair exercises for another 5 minutes. Chair yoga while I'm uploading this video. And I'm hoping that becomes my routine. One thing I need to make sure is that I will do it even if there are people in the room with me. Because sometimes, I do my video late and I'm downstairs, and if I can't be outside, blah, 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 then, Dennis at least is going to be listening, if not paying attention, hearing, if not paying attention. So I've got to just make sure that I do it anyway. I could always go do it in the dining room. Not all the chairs are covered with stuff. Only most. Now, I guess now tis the season to start saying I got to clear out the dining room, because we're having Thanksgiving, and I invited my brother Tim and his wife Shelley. I don't know if they'll come or not, but if they do, then I don't have enough room in my eating breakfast nook, or whatever you want to call that table that needs to be worked on. We call it the colon table because it's the winery sign from my dad's winery. He made me a table 25 years ago. 22 years ago. And I think it's one of my most prized possessions, if not my most prized possession. I guess my neighbors like kind of country. I don't know what that is. But I'm not up on the music of the day, so. But those boys must be 30 now, because we've lived here 28, 30, because we moved here in 2001. And they weren't babies. Anyway. So, I did my chair yoga, and I will be doing it as I upload this video today, and we'll see how that goes. My lawyer called me yesterday just to make sure I got the email, and I'm like, yeah, I got the email. And I realized that I hadn't called him back because me getting that email is sort of like the starting gun of the work that I have to do. And, you know, the reality is I could just leave almost all of it to him and his people. But that feels just like taking money from my nieces and my children, you know, because I'm going to have to pay the lawyer. So, and there's a little part of me that wants to do this, you know, in a weird way. I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm having ambivalent feelings about it, as you can might be able to tell. But anyway, I have a phone call meeting today at 3 o'clock. The problem is the email didn't just say, here's the document from the orphans court saying that you're the executor and now you're official. And that was it. No, it was, and now we have to get an EIN, kind of listing things that need to be done. So that was the problem. The list was the problem. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to have to make a list, and my list is going to include things like get an EIN, which is the tax ID for the estate. I'm going to have to go to State College at some point. The parents had gotten, maybe I told you this already, had gotten a home equity loan many years ago and paid it off, but for some reason there's still like a $60 fee, and because they didn't pay the $60 fee, there's still a lien on the farm from this home equity loan. They don't owe any money on it or anything. So I have to go and close that out, and I guess I'm just going to close out the bank accounts in State College. They don't make any sense for me to have those accounts, and I'll open estate accounts with my bank. Because this money isn't my money, it's my dad and mom's money, so. Get all official. I'm going to end up all official. I told you, you guys are going to be so tired of hearing about Pennsylvania probate and, you know, law. By the time I'm done with this, oh my gosh. I'm hoping I get done by next summer, you know. Probably won't be before that. The big thing, of course, is going to be selling the farm. And one of the big things that was on the list was get the farm appraised. So we will be moving forward on that. We need to do that soon enough because I have to pay the taxes that are due on my mom's estate by mid-November, or to get the discount. We get a 5% discount. And, you know, the whole point of the lawyer is trying to minimize the amount of tax you pay and do everything correctly and, you know, that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're going to be paying the taxes on the estate soonish. But we don't know how much the farm is worth, so we have to get it appraised. So that's my day today. You know, so in the process of getting ready for this meeting, I will be organizing the new things that came in and are on the table. So that'll be killing two birds with one stone. That'll be good. And I'm going to do my chair yoga. Several of you were interested in hearing about that. I only did one day. I don't have any kind of review yet, and I don't remember the name of my app. But I will make a note of the name of my app in future days and let you know what I think about it. I did pay something like $25. And I tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure what the time frame I paid for is. It's possible I paid for only 30 days. It's a 30-day program. But it's possible that I get it longer than that, and so I need to learn more about what I did. But it was a spur of the moment thing, and it was chair yoga app commercial on Instagram. I am a sucker for an Instagram ad, apparently. I ordered something else from an Instagram ad that I'm expecting. I hope it comes in time. In fact, I've ordered 2 things lately that I hope come in time because they're part of my Advent I'm sending to Megan. And I have to mail that in the next 4 weeks to make sure that it gets to New Zealand in time for December 1st. So, as strange as it seems sitting out here on this lovely day in the sun, Advent season is coming. So anyway, I ordered a couple things that are going to inform the Advent I'm sending to New Zealand, and I hope they get here on time. It's really beautiful out here, and that helps. I did a little bit more on my hat last night. I got far enough so that I could figure out my gauge and figure out my numbers and get started with the numbers that are appropriate for my gauge. And I'm not a huge fan of how it feels to knit with that cotton, but I knew that going in. 100% cotton is not necessarily my favorite thing to knit with, but that's neither here nor there. So I will work on that again tonight and hopefully get far enough. Hoping to get past the increases, because you start at the crown. Hopefully get past the increases so that I can just knit, and then things will go quicker. That's my plan. So I will be knitting some tonight. I knit some yesterday. I read a book yesterday. Veronica something starts with an S is the name of the character. I forget the name of the book. An Interesting Beginning, something like that. I will look it up and put it in the down bar. I enjoyed it. It's one of these, it's a Regency mystery. With a spunky girl. I'm sure they had spunky girls in the Regency times, but there are a lot of them, that are, she wasn't, but she's not trying to be a detective. She's actually a natural scientist. She studies her main area of study is butterflies. But, in the beginning of this book, they talk about how she's gone by herself on adventures to get exotic butterflies that she has been selling only under her initial, so people think she's a man. And so she's been earning enough to fund her expeditions by selling butterflies to collectors. And so she's not, trying to be a detective, but she has something she has to figure out, with this other guy, of course, who's, hunky and, also a natural scientist, and, that kind of, it's a romantic mystery. What can I say? And I'll put it down below. I enjoyed it a lot. I wore it. I read it yesterday. I'm a very fast reader. I'm a skimmer, very fast reader. And so it's very common for me to read a book a day. And these are not heavy, it took me days to read The Count of Monte Cristo. So, it's not, I can't read every book. Every book in a day. Maybe that's why I haven't read War and Peace. Dennis thinks I should read War and Peace. It's one of his favorite books. And I have not read it, I'll be honest. But a light Regency romantic mystery I can read in a day. I also watched the end of, I have BritBox, and I don't know if I mentioned it to you yesterday. I probably did. I had watched the first 2 episodes of the ABC Murders, where John Malkovich plays Poirot. John Malkovich is an excellent actor, and he's in Red, which is one of my favorite movies. But he plays Poirot, an old, and the interpretation of this book is interesting. And, you know, he plays an old, you know, forgotten, Jap's not in the, you know, Jap has retired at the beginning of this. And, you know, I mean, so he's an old man who is not in high repute with Scotland Yard. It takes place during the early 1930s, where there were very, very anti-foreigner in Britain, and he's of course Belgian. So it's a darker and they just do a completely different take on it. But so there's a young police inspector, because Jap retired, and I'm like, that guy looks so familiar. It was Ron Weasley. Rupert Grint, something like that. I'm like, man, that guy looks like Ron Weasley. Yeah, I guess the Harry Potter movies were a long time ago. I mean, he's not an old man, but he's an adult. He's a very adult. And then I'm thinking, well, so is Daniel Radcliffe and what's her name? Emma Watson. Anyway, it was Ron Weasley playing the policeman. Anyway, I finished that last night, and it was very interesting take on it, on this story, because of course I'm very familiar with the story, having seen multiple other versions of it. So I finished that, and I watched one more episode of Monsieur Spade. So I have 2 more episodes of that left to go. So this was my 4th episode. It has 6 episodes. And I'll tell you the truth. Throughout the entire hour, or whatever it is, 50 minutes, I was about ready to leave. I had my hand on the back button, because I was just like, every time I turned around, I'm like, I'm done with this. And then I wasn't. So it's a very strange show. But, you know, of course, episode 4 leaves you on a cliffhanger. So now I've got to watch episode 5. But I guarantee you, I would be shocked if I watched both episodes tonight to finish it off. We'll see. But I'll probably watch it tonight, and I should be able to knit while I watch it. So, yeah. Because I have 10 rows. I have at least 10 more rows of crown to knit, and I want to knit that if I can. Actually, it's more like 15. But anyway. So I will be knitting. I might be watching Monsieur Spade, or find something else. Yeah. Maybe I'll just watch Red again. I did recently watch it, so at some point, you know, it's like you got to put a little time between watchings. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, so that's that. I'm starting my work today, being the executrix. Right, puppy? I got Maisie here. You gonna say hi? Yeah. Good morning. Yeah, I know. Hi, good morning. So I'm starting my executricing today. I'll have a pad of paper and make notes about all the things I have to do. But first I have to print out all the documents from the email that he sent me, and I need to organize my laptop to keep track of all the documents he's sending me. So I have to work on being organized, which is very against my nature. I used to be really good at my job, and I had to be somewhat organized for that. I don't know. But I've been retired for over 10 years now, so I haven't had too much need to be organized, really organized, in those 10 years, to be honest with you. So, and there is a little part of me that's, kind of looking forward to doing this stuff. I don't know. But I want to do a good job. I want to, keep everything straight so that, because I'm going to have to do tax returns next year on this stuff. It's like, tax return day is like the worst day of our year. I've told you that before. Well, Dennis won't be doing this. I'll be doing it. Me and Peter. Peter will be helping me, and I'm going to also be in contact with the parents. Had an accounting firm that did their taxes for them every year, and so I will be in touch with them and take their advice as well. So I will have advisors, and it will be fine, and a part of me will enjoy doing it, and a part of me, but the majority of me will be. I did get an email from, did I tell you this? My sister's stepson, who is only a little bit younger than me, a few years. My sister had a huge collection of women's literature, mostly by women, but some of it was probably by men, but about women. But mostly it was women authors, and she had this huge collection. She had 30 feet of bookshelves. She had this huge long hall in her condo, and she had that whole hall lined with bookshelves. And anyway, so she asked Dan to find someone who would take that collection, her huge collection, into their library. And the University of Idaho was very happy to get this collection. And Dan sent a picture yesterday of a shelf of 46 book boxes of women's literature that were delivered to the University of Idaho. So, that was a huge amount of work cataloging it. And, because is it a first edition? Is it signed? Is it, what condition is it in? And so he worked really hard. He's been working really hard for a month doing that. And I'm sure the university was very happy to get it. So he's been working hard for Christy, my sister. And I can work hard for my family and for my mother. Work hard for my mother. So that the people that she loved get their inheritance. And that's what I will be doing. Anyway, all right, now I have been rambling a long time. If Leslie has started spinning again while she watches me, she got a lot of spinning done. I hope that's the case. I've been doing a little bit of knitting. I'm working on it. But, yeah. And I think it's going to help me process things to be doing this work for my mom. So, and that's how I have to think about it. The last gift to my mom. Okay, so now that I'm making myself cry, I'm going to go. I am feeling good. I am feeling better, and a part of me is looking forward to this work. A part of me is feeling very lazy and not wanting to do anything. So, but that's been the case of me for a very long, as you well know. All right, I'm going now. Please, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay. Oh, and I'm going to do my yoga. Stay safe and stay sane.